Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. We have our favorite video of each and every weekday ready for you guys. It is our player props video. We'll look to kick off this week super strong and stay well above 500 here. Make sure you do check out Nate's great article as well on playpicks.com with some of those player props and best bets in there for you. And like and subscribe to that page. We've got a couple other game videos up for you today on this 7-game slate. And as always, though, if you still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for tonight's player props. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, we're going to go with a well-known commodity, a consistent player. Of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo in the thick of the MVP race here. We mentioned in that Hornets-Bucks video, Charlotte can't do anything with him in his last 6 against them. He's averaging a combined 50 points and rebounds per game, along with 7.2 assists per game, posting a 35% usage rate. He should continue to attack them. As the Hornets come off an overtime loss to the Pistons last night. So rest disadvantage, they're already allowing the third most paint points in their last 3, including 56 paint points to Detroit last night. They're giving up 117 on the road, allowing the second most rebounds per game on the road. They allow the most rebounds to centers and the second most points per game to centers and the fourth most rebounds to power forwards if you consider Giannis that position. Obviously, yeah, he'll be all over the court, grabbing boards, pushing the pace in a game with a 240-point total. You definitely expect to be up and down. And the home road splits are pretty notable for him. He averages 32 and 12 at home this season. That's where his prop is at in terms of points and rebounds, 43.5 right now, minus 113 at FanDuel. I do think he will get over that pretty easily as long as this game stays close. I think you can also look at, for better odds, the 18.5 rebounds and assists, because he's getting about 12 to 14 boards at home recently. His last 4 home games, 36 points, 13.5 rebounds, 135 offensive rating, because he had that historic 50-point game against the Pacers. I don't see much difference between the way the Pacers and the Hornets play defense down low. Honestly, it's a revolving door that will allow Giannis to get to the rim early and often. And that's why I expect him to score a lot and grab a lot of boards.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, he's playing a bad team. He scored 33 or more in a team against teams that have held a losing record in his last 5. So I would feel pretty good about that. The rebounds as well. I think we're talking 13 to 14 boards in this one, which puts you right at about 28, 29, maybe 30 points for him. I think that's also doable. Yeah, we mentioned there's nobody to even come close to limiting him on the Hornets right now. It's just a very bad matchup for them, and will probably continue to be so tonight as he'll put up big numbers against them. Another guy putting up big numbers tonight, I believe, will be Jimmy Buckets. We tried to go with some of his ancillary stats last time we took him the other night. He did get about 23 points, but he failed to get us those points or those rebounds and assists. So I think we should just stick with the points tonight, as the Heat are taking on the Bulls, who we know without Caruso or Ball are very susceptible to giving up points outside the paint, anywhere in the wing and in slightly in right now. So I think 23.5 points at minus 104 for Jimmy is something that I really, really like. I mean, his last 4 versus Chicago, as we know, he played there in his past, 25 points per game, shooting the ball about 16 times a game, 35 minutes. His usage rate's up about 28%. And I love the fact that in his last 4 versus Chicago, he's getting to the line 10 times per game, making 9 of those free throws. So, I mean, if you're going to get 9 points at the line for someone like Jimmy Bucket, I think you got to feel good about him getting over 24 points. He's playing without Kyle Lowry tonight, which is huge. Could be without Tyler Hero as well. Without Lowry in his last 5, he's averaging 24, gets us there, 8.5 boards, 9.5 assists as well, including that 37-point triple-double versus the Raptors that he played at home without Lowry the last time there. And Chicago, that's where we're looking, as I said, at the somewhere in terms of a guard or wing, being able to score against them, giving up the fourth most points per game to small forwards this season. And Jimmy, is a little bit better at home as well this season. So in terms of scoring a few more points per game and such. So I think this is where we look tonight. We do both like the Heat to win. So if you like Jimmy to get 25 and a win, you got plus 205 on your money there. Some pretty good odds with a relatively small spread, and the fact that his prop is sitting at about 24 anyway. You think he gets one more point and the Heat pull this game off like we think they will. You're talking about double your money there. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned Chicago is maybe the best fourth quarter offense in the league, and that's why I love Jimmy, because he's Mr. Clutch in terms of countering that. I mean, I can just picture this game ending with him at the free throw line over and over, or hitting those tough turnarounds. And part of the reason DeMar DeRozan hasn't had great success against the Heat, I think, is because Jimmy makes him work so much on the other end. He's going to come out aggressive. His usage rate is up to nearly 30% in his last three, scoring 23 and 27 out of the All-Star break here. And if Tyler Hero happens to sit or is limited in any way, along with Lowry, Jimmy will see even more usage there. Looking at that Thunder Kings game, I was a little surprised to see the total around 228, given how OKC plays at home. And I was surprised to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 28.5 points. Then I checked the injury report, and there's no Josh Giddey or Lou Dort tonight. Yep. So we should still see a sky-high usage rate from SGA, and I will take that over then. In his 4 games without Giddey this season, he's averaging 32.8 points per game on a 40% usage rate. And that, he doesn't have the greatest numbers against the Kings overall since joining the Thunder, but in the one game he played against the Kings without Giddey this year, 33 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Sacramento allowing the most points per game to shooting guards for probably a third straight season at this point, 7th most points per game to point guards, if that's where SGA will play more tonight. Giving up the 3rd most assists per game recently, but the odds aren't as good to combo assists for Gilgeous-Alexander. So I'll stick with the points. Since coming back from that ankle injury, he's played 2 games, got 32 and 36 with a 39% usage rate. Again, 1 game without Giddey. So he should be anything and everything for OKC on offense tonight.
Yeah, precisely. And then, this should be just as much about, how bad Sacramento is on defense as it is about how good Oklahoma City's been on offense at home as of late. Even if the Thunder put up 100 points, 98 points, I still feel good about Shai getting close to 30. And as you mentioned, if you're going to have a 40% usage rate, you're going to score probably close to a third of your team's points, right? And I think that should be the case once again tonight with Giddey and Dort out. So a lot more shot attempts to go around for SGA tonight. Lastly, Nate, I'm going to go with Steven Adams, the big Kiwi. Firstly, I just wanted to let everyone know Steven Adams is only 28 years old. I just read that the other day when I was looking at him. I was like, I thought he was like 37. So, our boy's still got some fresh enough legs, and he's been really good lately. Points and rebounds is definitely where you're looking for him right now. He's averaging, so his points prop is only at about 8.5, and his rebounds prop's at about 10.5. So, that's why I feel really good, even just combining those. The 7.5 points I would love as well, but you get the minus 115 on FanDuel for the 18.5 points and rebounds over that. In his last 5 overall, he's increased his minutes for going from about 26 a game to 30, averaging 10 points and 12.5 boards in that time frame. He does like to play against San Antonio. In his last 2 games versus them, we're talking 10.5 points, 8.5 boards in 27.5 minutes. So he was still getting a few fewer minutes then. And it's really why he's so good against San Antonio is how bad they are down low. I mean, they play Jacob Poeltl. They play Jakob Poeltl about 30 minutes a game this season. So that they've got a center on the floor, which means Steven Adams is staying on the floor, which is good. He's at about that 30 minutes per game. And, San Antonio giving up they have the 4th worst rebound percentage on the road. They allow the 3rd most points in the paint. They allow the 6th most second chance points. As I mentioned, bottom 5 in terms of rebound percentage overall as well. They allow the 4th most points and rebounds to the opposing centers. So I mean, look, in his 16 career games versus Jakob Poeltl, Steven Adams just owns him, averaging about 14 and 10 in that time. Easily gets you above that 18.5 points and rebounds. I think that we're still sleeping on him a bit as a guy that's become pretty important to what Memphis does, especially on defense and especially gobbling up all those rebounds. And by the way, 4.5 assists per game in his last 5 as well. He had a nice no look the other day against Chicago that was like, okay, Steven. So I think the points and rebounds are easy for him tonight. 18.5. They're way undervalued against one of the worst rebounding and down low teams in the league in the Spurs.
Yeah, don't sleep on his passing ability then, too. I mean, what do we got for total PRA?
The assists are at like 5.5 or 6 tonight, which was like, get out. It was like plus 100. The PRA is at like 25 or something. It's like, no, thank you. I'll just take the points and rebounds,
Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. Yeah. But, the consistency you will get against a team that plays Pirtle as often as the Spurs do. That's why they're giving up such production to centers, giving up the third most paint points as well, because he's not stopping anybody from scoring down low. Adams, I like as a much more reliable pick than Jaren Jackson Jr., who does have good numbers against the Spurs lately, but he's still just such a spike player that I wouldn't go running to bet player props on him.
Yeah.
The Spurs have limited his triples recently, but Steven, he'll get it going down low in a game with a 238-point total. You expect him to flirt with a double-double one way or another as long as he's getting those 30 minutes. Yeah. And again, he should play a lot with the Spurs playing a true center.
Exactly. Yeah. So, a great night to take Steven, who's having a really, really good season quietly over there for Memphis and helping them out a ton. So that is all the time we have for you in this one. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page and check out those other couple of videos that we've got up for you today. And until we see you next, happy betting.